Yeah, we're live, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the show today, Stock Markets with Bruce. I'm your buddy, Uncle Bruce. I'm the only friend you got. You have other friends. It's all right. Welcome to the show here from Stockholm, Sweden. Can't believe can't believe I say it. We're here. First time for Jen and I to be in Sweden, another country off our visited list. I've never really listed how many countries we've ever been to. I'd have to try and do that someday. Nice to have you with us today. It is September the 13th. We have futures that are seem to be mixed at the moment. Markets want to go higher. They want to go higher. They need a really good excuse and they can't find one. That's the problem. The question on a lot of people's minds, insofar as GameStop is concerned, uh, will the GameStop shares take a shot if it is revealed that Mr. Cohen has bought up some stock? Did he or will he or could he buy shares like he did about a year and a bit ago, year and a half ago, where they went from that 18-20 range? I think they got to about 21, 22 when he finished buying his 100,000 shares. He did the filing, and then the shares took off a few weeks later into the 40s. Could something like that happen again at any time? It doesn't look like the market thinks so, does it? I mean, the shares are 17.23 right now in the pre-market. There's not a lot of speculators out there. Maybe there were some yesterday morning when the shares had a bit of a pop after it was revealed that a couple of directors had bought stock in GameStop, but that didn't last long. I will say, though, that the GameStop shares did pop, and then as did the market yesterday morning, and then the market subsided, and GameStop went along with the slump, and it just kept going. Still had a gain yesterday, but nothing like it was looking at for a while. I don't know what the plans are for GameStop long term. I have a feeling I know what the game plan has been like now for the last year. And they've executed this plan and are going to benefit mightily because of it. Because I have to give heads ups to the GameStop management, and I'm going to go right to the directors, Mr. Cohen himself, because I suspect right from the top, he made the directives to his senior managers. Look, this is a year and a half ago. Guys, we're going to cut expenses. We're dumping off this NFT stuff. We're going to get out of this digital whatever stuff. It's just not going to happen. It's not part of GameStop's future that he could see. But he got the impression, you know what? Our stores are not suffering all that much. COVID is over. People are coming back to the malls. Certain shopping malls in the U.S. elsewhere will die off, of course. But a bunch of other malls will not, and they will recover nicely. And now that there are fewer shopping malls in competition with the surviving shopping malls, those malls will do even better than before the wind down of the shopping mall business. And what did we hear yesterday, by the way, day before yesterday? I don't know if you noticed the story, but Westfield, the mall operator, they were apparently going to dump all their U.S. malls. They were going to dump them all. And now the story is, no, they're not. They've dropped the malls they wanted to drop. And now they've sunk money into some of the malls that they were thinking of dropping to improve them. And their top properties are doing very nicely. All of a sudden, the attitude is, no, we're not going to drop everything at all. No way. And we weren't interested. They're saying basically, we're not interested in a fire sale on our shopping malls. No, that's not the plan. We're only going to sell a mall if it's worth our while to do so. And remember, Westfield's been around a long time, so they have malls that they paid much lower values for versus what they're worth today, because land always appreciates if you're in a desirable location. Shopping malls are usually right beside highways and interchanges that make them desirable. All right, so back to GameStop. GameStop is sitting in 4,200 stores, whatever that number is, they dumped off their underperforming stores. They still do that as each month goes by, leases expire and have to be renewed. I think the game plan continues. They're going to continue to reduce staff at the retail level. They've really reduced staff at the corporate level. And that is where this turnaround, financial turnaround, is happening. And it was absolutely on display right at the front of the counter last week when their results came out for the last quarter. The street barely talked about it. A $98 million improvement in one quarter, a $3 million a day improvement in performance. Are you getting that? Is that sinking in? We're talking $400 million a year improvement in margins for GameStop from the cuts they made last year. They're now adding up and having the effect going forward. This is only going to get stronger. This isn't going to get weaker. This is going to get stronger because they laid off more people last quarter. The quarter before that, they're going to lay off more people this quarter as they close off underperforming stores and push product into their top performing stores. They're going to get more dollars per square foot into their cash register for less money out the door. This makes them more effective, makes them their margins are rising. The pessimists out there, and we know who some of these analysts are always saying the same old thing. They were saying 5 years ago that their days are numbered. They're going to become a blockbuster. Then they said the pandemic is going to get them. The pandemic is going to ruin them and many other retailers, and they'll be done. That didn't happen. So then they said the recovery, when everything reopens, they'll be nowhere near the kind of numbers they used to see. That didn't happen. They have made adjustments to this corporation with Ryan Cohen in charge that had to be done to save the corporation and to ultimately make it a moneymaker. And this is what the company is becoming. It's becoming a moneymaker. And $400 million in reduced losses in a year per quarter, $100 million a quarter, that's nothing to sneeze at. But once that number is $600 million, another $200 million more in savings, don't be surprised if these guys start reporting 300, 400, 500 million in profits. No analyst is analyzing. No analyst is saying that. No analyst is predicting it because these guys are stuck in their ways that this is a blockbuster business and it's all over. Well, why is it that PlayStations and Xbox systems and controllers and these new Oculus 3D virtual reality thing, this is not online, folks. This is hardware. This is real product you have to have in your house. You have to plug it into the wall. You got to plug it into your cable system. No, this isn't going away. GameStop is one of the places you go to buy this stuff. And look at the games coming out in the last year, the new titles, and many more coming. These guys, these analysts just don't want to, react to reality. I don't know what it is. Again, it could be that their bosses are telling them, we think it's crap and we think you should say to the world that it's crap. Okay, well, that's what's going on. Here's the other thing, all right? I just don't believe that Ryan Cohen's overall game plan was to come into GameStop, kick out all the old management that were bleeding the company dry of all of its credibility, all of its cash flow, got rid of all these morons. He unloaded everyone. All the directors are gone. Not all the directors were bad. They were fine. There were some good people there, but he let them all go. He made the complete wholesale change, a much smaller board of directors, a much leaner corporation. And I'm thinking to myself, what else? Now what? Because I think he is 1 year into a 2-year program of a cost-cutting program. And at the end of the second year, I think the next program is coming up. What is the next program? Well, we don't know because he doesn't have news conferences. He doesn't grant interviews. and no one has conference calls even on quarterly reports. So they don't answer questions from shareholders. So it's left to us to guess. Well, I guessed a year ago that cost cutting was going to be something else, and I was right. Am I perfect? No, but I was right on that one. And now I wonder, is there an acquisition coming up? Is there something he's eyeing that he wants to move into? I have my thoughts as to where he should go next, but that's another story. I've told you about this many a time. I'll leave that off the side. But it could be that he has his eye on another business. Now, is that a creator of a product, a distributor of a product? I don't know. Is it a gaming company? I don't know. But if he has something in mind that he wants to buy, and it's going to run him a couple of $1 billion to do so, but if he does make that kind of acquisition, it could really lift the cash flow of this company, GameStop, dramatically. He's going to need cash to do it. Now, cash, I think, is available to Ryan Cohen and his company, because you have to keep reminding. You may have forgotten this. I forget this from time to time. Ryan Cohen, the individual, the billionaire, very successful young man. He's under 40. Done a great job. He is the single largest shareholder of Apple stock of any individual out there. He does it through his holding company, but nonetheless, he is the single largest shareholder of Apple. The only ones that are larger than him are mutual funds, hedge funds, ETFs, massive institutions. As a single individual person, he's the largest shareholder of the company. Did you know that? He doesn't own 20% of Apple or anything like that, but he's got billions. And his cost base of his Apple stock is way down here. He is sitting on huge profits. So if Ryan Cohen needed to get his hands on a couple of $1 billion to fund GameStop, how would he do it? And I thought, well, why doesn't he just buy another 100,000 shares of stock like he did a year or two ago, whatever that was? And the street will gather up that, oh my God, he's buying stock again. And we go to the $35, $45, $50 neighborhood. And on the run up, he negotiates a deal with a brokerage firm to raise a couple of $1 billion if that's what he needs. On the other hand, he could probably pick up the phone. He probably has a list of bankers who have said to him in no uncertain terms, you ever need some money for anything you're working on, give us a call. I'm sure we can work something out. He comes around and says, yeah, we have something in mind over at GameStop. I want to backstop a $3 billion cash injection into the company. What can we do? And I would be not surprised that brokerage firms will come to him and say, well, we could raise half that money with a bond offering through GameStop. We could raise the other half of the money either through the sale of shares from the treasury of GameStop, or we can do a backstopped bond offering. And that's where Ryan Cohen buys the other half of the bonds from the company and borrows the money personally to buy the bonds from GameStop itself. So that GameStop would then owe $3 billion to the world, 1.5 to institutions that bought bonds, and 1.5 billion to Ryan Cohen himself, who borrowed 1.5 billion from all kinds of bankers to fund the deal. There's $3 billion on top of the 1.2 they got, 4.2 billion cash on hand. Now they can do a $2-3 billion acquisition cash only, away we go. Now, if that acquisition generates 500 million, 800 million a year in profits to the company, there's a payback over 3, 4, 5 years, and the company will begin to slowly buy back those bonds to pay them off over 5 or 10 years. And Ryan Cohen, along with the other institutions, will slowly sell off their bonds, get interest in the meantime, and be paid out. That could be done. This company, GameStop, is not locked in some kind of a box somewhere. They're not cornered. They're not like AMC. They're not like other companies that can't do anything. These guys have no debt. They have 4,000 plus stores. They can sell whatever the hell they want to sell. They're not like banned from selling anything else. So if there's a hot product coming around that GameStop wants to sell, they can sell it. If they go into collectibles, they go into, I don't know what, a deal with Disney, a deal with Sony, a deal with Microsoft. I don't know. The possibilities are bloody endless for these guys. Sooner or later, they're going to get to the point where their cost-cutting campaign worked just fine. Revenues are rolling in. Expenses are not rolling out the door like they were before. In other words, more cash is building in the company. The company can now expand into something else. Now, is that the ability of the company to go completely online by acquiring an online seller? Could that be it? I don't know. They don't talk, you see. Well, there you have it. There's a few thoughts for you to kind of ponder. The possibilities are absolutely endless. There's no limit to what the possibilities are. I don't believe Ryan Cohen and his directors are sitting in their boardroom going, "We've done a great job. We did fantastic. We cleaned house here a couple of years ago. We got rid of these morons. We got rid of the private jet. We offloaded all kinds of expenses. We tried this. We tried that. We dumped that. We dumped that. That's okay. We've really cleaned house and we're done now." I don't think that's the story. I don't think that's their thinking at all. I think they're going, chapter 1 has been done. Now it's time for chapter 2. By the way, it's 20 chapters long. This is a 20-year program. This guy's 37 years old, the chairman of the company. He's 37. What else is he going to do? This thing has only just begun. But I can't tell you what the next move is for sure. No one calls me from GameStop. Maybe it's because I'll blab it out to you guys. That might be a good reason they don't want to tell me anything. Anyway, there you have it. There's my take on it. The stock is $17.30 a share. We know it's been higher. We know it's been lower. We know it used to be shorted like you never saw a stock shorted before. We know all that stuff. We know there are lovers, there are haters, and there are followers. When Mr. Cohen is ready, he'll make a move. Now, something triggered 2 directors to buy stock 2 days ago. Something. What was it? The stock was down to $17.50 a share. Is that all it took? Or is there something else? Is there something else cooking that they're aware of? They had the opportunity. They were allowed to buy stock now because their earnings were released. The quarterly financials were out there. They could make a move. They made a move to buy stock. These folks are not multi-billionaire people. They're directors and they're worth a few $1 million. They're worth money. And they bought stock. What caused 2 directors to jump the minute they could make the move to buy stock in GameStop the way they did? I don't have the answer, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't because something bad is going to happen. Why would you want to buy 15,000 shares and 8,500 shares of the stock? Something good is coming. Something bigger, something more substantial is happening. That's what I think it is. Remember, this channel is about explaining the stock market in plain English, okay? And in plain English, when bad things happen, people don't buy stock, okay? When insiders think companies are going to lose a piss pot of money the next year, they don't go out and buy their stock, okay? They buy their stock at whatever price they buy stock at on the open market when they think something positive is happening. Earnings are coming on, maybe a stock split's being talked about, maybe an acquisition, or this acquisition we made a year ago is really paying off for us, or whatever. A million reasons, all good. Okay, there's good and there's bad. All right, when it's bad, you don't buy stock as a director. When it's good, you consider buying stock as a director. And having a director put personal cash on the barrelhead to buy stock on the open market, there's something really good going on. There has to be something in the pipeline in their mind that's saying, from this seat, The board seat that I'm sitting at, from the view that I have in front of me, I'm buying the stock in the 17s. That's it. That's all. That's Stock Markets in Plain English with Uncle Bruce is the name of this channel. And there you have it. There's my take on it. You can decide for yourself what you think. Okay, everybody. Welcome to the party. Now, I want to talk about something bad. All right. And I don't like talking about stuff that's bad. I love talking about stuff that's good. But I also like to kind of give you guys a heads up about stuff that's going on out there that you don't know anything about or may not be all that aware of. Certainly not that's going to be made apparent to you by any investment advisor. No, not a chance. I want to give you an alert out there to just, I can say in a month from now, a year from now, I can say, remember when I told you about that story when I was in Stockholm? You'll go, oh, yeah, he told us about that. He did. He told us. Well, here's the story. It was released. There was an article yesterday. I believe it was in the the Wall Street Journal. And I read it online. I was in the train station, actually, in Copenhagen, waiting for our train. And I read this story. And I thought, oh, I got to tell the kids tomorrow when I'm on the air. I got to tell them this one. I've learned a new word, a new expression. The expression I want to give you it's known as brokered deposits. Brokered deposits. Okay, write that down. Brokered deposit. What the hell does that mean? Banks in the United States saw 6-8 months ago, you saw it too, regional banks get into big trouble in a big hurry when depositors started taking money out, certainly from that Silicon Valley bank. They took deposits out using their phones and transferred their money to other banks. And banks began to lose depositors faster than they could raise cash to keep the deposit level up, and they went insolvent. All the bankers saw this. All 3,000 plus US banks from all sizes saw exactly the same thing. And you can bet your sweet bippy that every single bank board meeting that was held right away by every one of these banks, from small to large, all talked about this. And they were all saying, hey, how much trouble could we be in? Are we overtaxed? Could we get a run on our deposits? We don't want to get caught in this scenario, because a lot of these banks that are out there that have 5 billion in deposits, 3 billion in deposits, 10 billion, 20 billion, 50 billion, all the way up to the trillion. They want to make sure that if there's ever a run on their accounts, that they have enough capital to keep the FDIC happy, that the federal government regulators won't be concerned about the capitalization of any one bank. And we saw a wave of problems, followed by a second wave of additional problems, and then some solving got done and money got moved around. But there's a new game in town, a brand new game in town that it's been around a while, but it's now really taking on a level of importance for institutions like ever before. It's called brokered deposits. And all it means is you have a bank that is sitting there with 50 billion in deposits, and they're nervous that if $20 billion in deposits were to be withdrawn in like a month, they would be able to raise 10 billion of that fairly quickly, but the other 10 billion could be a problem, especially if they're into investments like treasury bills from the US government that have 5 years left to go, that they bought 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when interest rates were 1%. They're yielding 1% on $10 billion, but they're offering interest rates to depositors of 3% to try to get them to keep their money in the bank. They're losing 2% on this spread, and so they're trying to raise cash, to make up the differential. Well, the one thing they don't want to have is a run on the bank where they have to admit to the regulators, we had 50 billion in deposits last month. We're down to 45 billion this month. Next month, they announced we're down to 40 billion. Regulators don't like that. So what they do is they approach Wall Street and vice versa. Wall Street approaches them and they make a deal. Wall Street says to these guys, hey, I'm at Morgan Stanley. I'm a bond trader. I'm a treasury bill specialist. I'm a money manager at J.P. Morgan, at Goldman Sachs, whatever, one of these huge banks. If you're ever interested in raising 5 or 10 or 15 billion dollars in deposit money, let me know, because I have all of these hedge funds around the world. I have all of these mutual funds, pension funds, sitting on tons of cash, looking for good returns. And they're always looking to park money on a short-term basis for a nice yield. And if we buy a 30-day treasury yield or a 60-day, that's the posted rate the government will give us. You can pay us more than that. We'd be happy to give it to you, the investment banker in Wall Street. So some of these banks are contacting brokerage firms and saying, look, we want to get 5 billion in deposits into the bank. We'll issue a certificate of deposit to your investors for 60 days, 90 days, 180 days, 120 days, something less than a year, maybe less than 6 months. Here's the interest rate we can pay out, or what kind of interest rate would you need to attract this kind of money into our bank? Brokers get on the phone. They contact their favorites. They'll talk to a $200 billion pension fund over here and say, hey, you want to throw $1 billion of your $200 billion into this bank? I can get you 10% more money than a government of the United States GIC, which you're drowning in. You already got 20 billion of it. How about $1 billion into this thing? And I can get you a better return on your money for the next 90 days. Yeah, deal, sure, that'll be great. So the brokerage firm arranges the deposit into the bank for a guaranteed investment certificate. The bank now takes the cash, adds it into their arsenal of capital. They just leave it. They don't do anything with the money. They leave it there as cash. And they may acquire government of the United States bonds with this money. That they got the money for 60 days. They're buying a 55-day note from the government. So they're bringing in money and they're paying out money, and there's a spread. It's costing them a little bit of a spread, but that's the price they're prepared to pay to have this big fat deposit on hand. And that keeps their deposit numbers nice and flush, nice and high. No one is worried about the liquidity of Bank XYZ over there. Now, they have 55 billion in deposits, 10 of which might come from brokered deposits, and the other 45 billion from customers. And they're constantly adjusting their books. Every month, they have government debt that's expiring, that's maturing out. And they were getting 1% on that money, 1.5%. Every month, they have bonds maturing. They get 100 cents on the dollar back from the government for that money, plus whatever interest they've earned. They take that dough, and they now buy new government of the United States debt at current rates. So they go from 1% to 4 or 5. And they don't have to borrow as much of brokered deposits. So the bank is sitting there going, in 6 months, $5 billion of all those bonds we've got mature out, and we can then pay off $5 billion of brokered deposits money, and we won't need their money anymore. We'll go from 10 billion to 5 billion, and then 6 months later, we'll go from 5 billion to zero. Depending on the economic forces in the meantime, we might borrow from time to time, we might not. This is a constant balancing act, all right? It's a perfect way for small and mid-sized and regional banks to borrow gobs of cash under the guise of a deposit rather than a loan, and they can then pay out this GIC interest, guaranteed investment certificate interest, and pay the spread. It might be 1/10 of a percentage point per year more, 2/10 of a point more, I don't know. They'll pay it as an insurance to keep everybody calm. The problem is this, and I've explained this as simply as I can. That's the point of this whole story. But there are banks out there now with much higher percentage terms or amounts of broker deposits on their books than ever before. There are more of them, and many of them have much higher amounts than ever before. And the regulators know it. This is not a secret. This is an open story. The regulators are watching this very carefully because they know brokered deposits are not loyal deposits. Brokered deposits go to where the action is. The Wall Street player, the Wall Street broker over there, brought you $5 billion. He can also take it away because if he can find a better payoff for that $5 billion with another bank, he'll shift out of your bank. So at the end of 35, 45, 65 days, that GIC is paid out and that guy isn't coming back because you're not offering a better rate than someone else is. Now, these bankers, their mentality is, well, we're not in for the long term. We just want to do this short term, quick fix, quick money, quick capital, and then we'll move on. We'll pay it down and we'll raise money from all of our depositors by offering them higher interest rate, blah, blah, blah. By the way, SoFi is not in this mess because SoFi has millions of members in their orbit and adding hundreds of thousands of members every quarter more into their orbit. They're bringing in more money every day, every week than their customers need to take out. So SoFi's deposits are growing, not flat or shrinking. But these other players that are 1/10 the size of SoFi to 10 times the size of SoFi, they're in their different world. Everyone is in their own unique situation. Not everyone is growing like SoFi is growing. Brokered deposits are an Achilles heel to the U.S. banking industry. That's what it is. Brokerage firms in Wall Street do what they have to do to make money. Bottom line is, if you're a broker in Wall Street and you get paid 20% of any profits that you can make your client under some kind of an arrangement, or you're a hedge fund manager, you run a hedge fund, and you've attracted $5 billion of cash from 100 wealthy investors, and you get 20% of their profits, and you can put the $5 billion into a GIC here or a GIC here and get a quarter point more on this GIC on $5 billion, 20% of that is worth your time. All right, it's a no-brainer. So there are now $1.2 trillion of brokered deposits out there right now. 1.2 trillion is out there, and it's growing at a record pace. That's what I wanted to mention to you today. This is bad news because if this number keeps climbing, 1.4 trillion, 1.8 trillion, 2.5 trillion, that's telling me the U.S. banking system is relying on artificial inflated deposits to balance their books. That's not a good thing. That's why I say it's bad. Okay. Stock markets in plain English. Good, bad. This is bad. This is emergency deposits from interest-seeking depositors. I understand how Wall Street works. I commend them for creating a product that pays them handsomely. The bankers are doing what they have to do to survive, but the depositors are in the middle along with the shareholders of these organizations, many of which are public companies. And you have to ask yourself, how solid is the bank that I've invested in? Just wanted you to know. Okay, that's out there. One more thing I'll mention, because we got 26 minutes to go before we open here. I read another article a couple of days ago talking about option activity. There's a new term in town. They talk about the daily options expiring. Now, I've talked to you about this with respect to iron condors. I've told many of you, you've taken my course number 16. You've been here every day, hung around with me. You are aware of the fact that there are options available to be traded. You can write them, you can trade them all you want, that expire every day on the QQQs and the SPYs, that type of thing. This is a big business. This is a huge business. And there are gamblers out there. And this is the good news. This, by the way, is a good news story. I forgot to tell you. Good news, bad news. This is good news. The good news is there are now 40 million contracts trading, up from like 20 million, up from 2 million years ago, in contracts options. And a good chunk of those are now getting caught up in short-term trades. Gamblers out there are getting more and more desperate. Remember this. 3 years ago, 4 years, 5 years ago. Let's start with 5 years ago. Before the pandemic in 2018, you and many of your friends and relatives and people you knew were borrowing money or being offered to borrow money from credit cards with zero financing deals, good for a year. Many of you were running into opportunities where you could take mortgages with very cheap costs, very low rates. There was money everywhere. Corporate America was borrowing money everywhere for virtually nothing. Apple was issuing bonds. Apple, that has 140 billion cash in the bank overseas, they were issuing bonds 50 billion at a time at various maturities for 0.5% to 1.5% interest. Okay. Money was easy and cheap to get. And 5 years ago, a lot of investors out there, private retail investors, would buy 100 shares of Apple or 200 shares of this, or 10, 20 grand of whatever, and try to flip it. There were day traders 5 years ago that would try to take 20,000 and turn it into $20,500 today. They would try to buy $20,500 worth of stock tomorrow and turn it into $21,000 worth of stock the day after tomorrow. Day trading was going on margin, you name it. Then we had COVID. COVID made everyone stay at home, turned a zillion people into day traders and investors with this, many of which are here with me right now. And many of you who are here became quite knowledgeable about the markets in an awful hurry when you found this guy to tell you about how the markets work. But many did not. Most did not. 99.9% of investors do not know who Uncle Bruce is. They don't have an Uncle Bruce. They think they know it all because they think they're smarter than you guys are, or me. It's okay. Free country. Think what you want. In any event, people had cash even at that time. In COVID, more cash was hanging around people's hands than ever before. And so a lot of money came into the market. And a lot of trading went on with regards to stock. And now the options market started to act up. Then we had the end of 2021 show up. And what began to happen? Inflation and the lifting of interest rates. And at the same time the interest rates got lifted, the Federal Reserve did the second part about slowing down an economy, and that is tightening the money supply, quantitative tightening. Simply put, a bond matures that the Federal Reserve owns that they bought 10 years ago. They're letting that bond mature out. They're getting paid out by the US government in cash, and they're putting that cash back into their vault and not letting that cash go back into the street. They're, in other words, reducing the amount of capital in our hands, in the economy's hands all over the world. All central bankers are doing exactly the same thing in the G8, in the G10, roughly. Canada, UK, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and so on. Okay. So cash is becoming tighter. Inflation is going higher. Interest rates rose. What did that mean? COVID was ending. People found that they were running out of the amount of capital they had lying around. They weren't as cash rich anymore. And so more and more investors wanted to make money in the market and want to still make money in the market. And they figured out, well, instead of buying 100 shares of Apple for $17,000, why don't I buy $5,000 worth of Apple options? I can play the market that way. And what did you get? You got option players coming into the market who are buying calls to try to sell calls, or buy puts and sell puts, to make a capital gain on a moving market up or down. As many of you are very well aware, most of the world out there thinks one direction: buy low, sell high. Perfect. It's the perfect way for you to make money. Well, guess what? The market continues on. We had a bad start to 2022, and now 2023, it's come back up again, but it's coming off again. We got more and more desperados out there. We have even more people playing the options market than ever before because they can't play the stock market. They are priced out of the market. They don't have 20, 30, 40, 50 grand, 100 grand anymore for stock. They have 20, 30, 40, 50 grand. And they're playing options, and they're playing QQQs, SPYs, and they're doing day trades. And there are people buying calls in the morning to sell in the afternoon for a quick flip. And some get lucky and many do not. And so you folks who are sitting at home watching Uncle Bruce tell you, write options on shrinkage, make money on shrinkage, especially with these condors. You're following the advisory services here, and you're getting better at it, and you're scoring returns, courtesy of a record number of people turning record numbers of actual dollars in the options market like never before. And this was a big article in the Wall Street Journal just a couple of days ago, where the people who were buying contracts are being referred to as lottery ticket buyers. And have I said to you a zillion times in a row, you are the casino. You're going to be the casino. You're going to remain the casino. You're going to make money like casinos. You always make money as a casino. But you've got to be patient like a casino. You've got to be targeted like a casino. You have to be disciplined like a casino. And you better be as well educated or more educated than your adversary, the gambler on the floor. That's why I can't emphasize enough. Take the damn classes that we have put together. If you haven't been here for 2.5 years, start with lesson number 1, get into lesson number 2, get into lesson number 3. Head to the website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca. Do yourself the ultimate favor and learn how options actually work, because never in the history of investing has it been this good to be an option writer. Never. You can write contracts with this from Stockholm if you wanted to, from your bathroom in Peoria, and you can take iron condor positions, enjoy the shrinkage, and take the dough from these gamblers, of which there are gazillions, and more are coming. I'm telling you, this will not end. This wave of gamblers coming into the market to play the options market is not going to stop. It is going to get more and more intense because the interest rates have risen now to the 5% range. They're not going back to 1. They're going to stay here for a while, if not inch up a little bit more. They're going to last for several years. And even 2 years after they max out, they're still going to be 4.5% to 5%. The shrinkage of capital in the market, the shrinking of the money supply will continue on, creating even more hardship for the smaller player. They're going to get more desperate. They're going to get even riskier. They're going to take bigger risks with smaller pots of cash. There are people out there who used to spend $5,000 on an option. They invest $5,000, try to turn it into 8. Now they're using $2,000, try to turn it into 5. The problem is $5,000 to 8 is a $3,000 gain, 60%. $2,000 into 5,000 is a $3,000 gain, 250%. You're talking about risk going through the roof. And that is why these articles are starting to show up about these crazy investors who do not know what they're doing. They do not have advisors. They don't have an Uncle Bruce. And they're on the wrong side of the trade. And they don't know any better because no one in Wall Street is going to tell them how to do it. If you're a brokerage firm, what are you looking for? Volume. That's the one thing you want. I want action. If you're a racetrack, you want people betting on horses. You don't care who wins. You don't care who loses. You're the racetrack. I just want 10,000 people betting gazillions of dollars on the outcome of each race that we're running here. We don't care who wins, who loses, because a percentage of every bet goes to the house. It's the same thing on Wall Street. Every time options trade hands, they get a slice of the action. They can get more people playing this game, they get more money. The slice is the same, it's just more of them. For those of you who are with me here, you used to, you guys used to write 3, 5, 10 contracts at a time. Now there are those of you who are taking on 10 and 20 condors at a time. Each condor is 4 contracts, 2 puts, 2 calls. We're talking 20, 80, 100 contracts per transaction that you're now involved with. You're looking for one simple thing: shrinkage of the contract's value. That's all you're after. You don't have to just be predicting the exact outcome of the stock's movement. You don't have to predict whether they make money or not. You don't have to predict what color the sky is tomorrow. You only have to be involved in a condor position where you know there's going to be significant shrinkage of the 4 contracts you're involved with. That's it. That's all there is to it. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Sounds so easy. And yet you can't convince a single friend, a single relative, a single associate at work. You can't tell anyone, almost anyone, to do it. Even though you do it, even though you make money doing it, even though you can prove to your friends you're making money doing this, you can't get anyone else in on it. They don't believe you. They don't believe this is real. They think that you're into a pie in the sky Ponzi scheme that's just too good to be true. Have you heard that expression before? Hey, it's too good to be true. I mean, I've known you for 20 years. You're a moron. I know how stupid you are. I've been your best friend for 20 years. You're as dumb as I am, and I'm an idiot. There's no way you make money, and I don't make money. No way. No, no. That's the wall you're up against. Leave it at that. Don't worry about it. Let your friends think you're crazy. Let your friends think you're a wild gambler, and take it easy on them. Just do what you do best and use your superpower to write options, create condors, cash secured puts, covered calls, poor man covered calls. Do what you're learning how to do. Get your butt over to my website if you haven't done so already. Hurry the hell up and get over there and get your classes under your belt. There are 16 of them now. You have 16 secret weapons waiting for you that you can get probably richer on. Why wouldn't you want to take advantage of that? I don't know. Get over there, take the lessons, learn how it's done, hang out with the professor who created the lessons live, and let's see how much money you can make in this market. I don't know any other YouTube channel that does this. I don't think there is a single YouTube channel where you can do this live while on the air with the market at the same time. But hey, I don't have time to look at all the other YouTube channels, so maybe you do, I don't. Thank you all for being with me today live from Stockholm, Sweden. The only reason Jen and I are in Stockholm, Sweden is because you helped us get here. Because we helped you make money in this market, you've helped us get here. You're members of this channel, most of you. Some of you are lurkers. Hopefully we can convince you to not lurk and join this group. Thank you for taking the lessons. Thank you for those of you who've gone the ultimate step to do one-on-ones with yours truly. It's been a pleasure to help you. And we will continue forward to try to make you even richer, whether you like it or not. Okay, there it is. I've said it. All right, kids, I've got to shift the channel over here to comments from members only. Thank you all for popping in so far. Those of you who are members of this channel, you know how much Jen and I appreciate you. Those of you who are just lurking, we love you, but we'd love you even more if you wouldn't mind becoming a member of this channel. If you can find your way to becoming a gold bagel level member, I think you're doing yourself a huge favor. You're going to get your hands on that Trade Alert show. And when we return back to North America, you're going to get your hands on the Wednesday night primetime live show as well. So Stick around and let's see what happens. Thank you for the 79 thumbs ups. All of you out there who are kind enough to tolerate me begging and begging and begging and begging for thumbs ups. Thank you for caving and giving me a lousy little old thumbs up. Thank you very much. It means the world to us. It helps us a lot. It really does. I appreciate you. All right, kids, we're about to open up in about 10 minutes. And our friend Larry Titus, I know, is getting ready to hit that bell button. And let's see what's going on. Robert Benson says, say hello to Jen for me. Robert Benson says hello. Jen? Robert Benson says hello.
Oh, hi, Mr. Benson.
She says hi to you. There you go. Beautiful. We had fun the other day. It was great seeing them. It's so cool to catch up with folks live when we're on the road. It really is. It is just fantastic. Thank you all. What else is going on? We got folks saying hi to me and good morning and appreciate y'all. Thank you all. Did the 4-hour train ride make Bruce forget his glasses today? I need to see Yoko Ono for the first time. I've been begging, says Deep Value. Yeah, well, we're nowhere near the box with Yoko's album in it. I'll tell you that. We're a few thousand miles away from that right now. I'm sure it's smoking in the room right now where it's located. What can I say? Thank you all for popping through. Larry, thanks. Jules, I read that article. Yeah, that was revealing, wasn't it? Coffee Kids Trading, 72 thumbs up today. Thank you, Coffee Kids. Please become a member as soon as you can. Thank you, buddy. Fantastic all. Great to have you here. 9 minutes to go. Let's take a look at some pre-market stuff here. Rocket Lab is up 15 cents so far today at 546. I kind of wonder if it's going to inch its way back to 6.5 again. SoFi is down 2 pennies at 8.98. Nice to see it break 9 yesterday. GameStop at 17.28, up 5 cents. Matterport is up a couple of cents. 23andMe up maybe a penny. Spire at 5.90 is up 16 cents. Pre-market. Let's take a look. Apple up $1.04. Goldman up $1.10. Cisco is down 22. Tesla's up 2.10 here at 2.69. It's had quite a week. Big couple of days. A little pullback yesterday, but what a week. ARC Innovations down 1 penny right now. Microsoft is up 23 cents. Was down $6 yesterday. Pfizer down a penny. HPQ down 13. Google down 30. Amazon down 15. We got NVIDIA sitting down 267. Unity Software down 34 cents. C3.ai Inc., the old AI stock, up 8 cents. It was down 12 yesterday, 28.18. Adobe is up $10 this morning in the pre-market. Netflix is up 81 cents. Spiders are up 3 cents. Qs are down 16 cents. Very quiet. And those of you who've got condors are probably loving how those two markets are kind of quiet right now. Very little activity on both sides. That makes life a lot easier as a condor creator. Because it just allows you to watch the shrinkage continue unabated on the calls and the puts. Pretty nice stuff. Let's see. Stock future indexes jolted by an uptick in the U.S. inflation rate. The story we're getting, we'll see how that plays. Let's see what else is going on there. Let's see. Yeah. Waiting for more information to come up. We'll follow that. They captured the Pennsylvania prison break escapee, the guy that climbed up the wall there, that got him. So he's back behind bars. He can go sleep now. He can rest. Doesn't pay to do that. Anyway, 17.29 up 6 cents on the GameStop shares. On the futures, the Dow's down 27, S&P down 5, NASDAQ down 17. Crude oil down 3 cents. It was up 50 cents this morning. It's now down 3 at 88.81. I've noticed interest rates on the U.S. Treasury. It got up to 4.3 something, 4.32 something. It's now 4.28. It's backed off since the inflation numbers have come out. As far as currency goes, the British pound was down to this 107 point 1073 range. Now it's at 1075. The pound, that's the euro. The pound is at 124.95, almost unchanged. But both of these currencies are off in the last 3 months, almost 10%. So that's the story there. European stocks are south. They're negative, but not by much. In England, 0.05 of a percentage point drop. Germany, a 0.43. France 0.38%. So not a big massive drop off, but it is negative, no question. Asia, definitely negative. The Hang Seng, the Nikkei, the Asia Dow, they're all lower, not by a ton, but they've been red now for several days so far. Other piece of news for you. This is one of those shot across the bow warnings. I heard this morning that American Airlines, they came up with an announcement. I guess it was followed about an hour after Spirit Airlines came out. The discount carrier Spirit came out and said that their numbers are down and going to be lower because of higher costs. American Airlines, about an hour after Spirit made a warning, American said that we are lowering our profit guidance. Now, they were talking about an 85 to 95 cent a share profit for the end of the year. They're now talking 25 to 30 cents a share. Huge drop. And they are blaming higher energy costs, the rise in oil, jet fuel, and higher inflationary costs, labor. Because they had to make that deal with their pilots, and they're going to have to make a deal with their machinists, and they're going to have to make a deal with their flight attendants and their other ground staff for 20, 30, 40% price increases over the next 3-4 years. This is the new normal in labor. And that's going to affect them because they're not going to be able to just bump up their ticket prices by $100 round trip to LA, New York. It's not going to work. Too much competition, even though there are far fewer airlines. The question now is, Bruce, hey, if American and Spirit are talking about lower earnings forecasts, what about Delta? And what about United? What about JetBlue, Southwest? What about these guys? Alaska Airlines, aren't they also going to come up and with a new revised forecast? And that's what I'm wondering about. I'm wondering if Wall Street is beginning to wonder, gee, look, it can't just be the airlines that are going to have lower earnings if there's higher prices. I mean, everyone is experiencing higher prices. All the trucking companies, everyone driving a vehicle, cost of gasoline is going up again, back to $88 a barrel. Bruce says it's 50, should be 55. It's at 88. Inflation is not going away. I think inflation is going to reach 6-8% in the U.S. again. I don't believe it's over. It's certainly not over in Germany, where we just came from. Germany is admitting they are out now saying it, that 6-8% inflation is what we're expecting for a while. It's not going to 2% in Germany like that. It's not happening. The European economy, by the way, over here, they are talking about a prolonged recessionary curve for 2 more years. That's not good for China. That's not good for America or Canada at all. Nobody benefits if Europe is sluggish. Nobody wins. You can't say, oh, well, Europe's not doing well. That means we're going to do great. No. Trade is a two-way street, okay? You import when you can afford to import because your exports are going. It doesn't work one way. Just because one country can't buy your goods doesn't mean you get richer. You need all countries to buy your goods. So issues in Europe, issues in China, to say the least. And there's a war in the Ukraine. I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's a war in the Ukraine as well. All right. You're up to speed with what's going on. In plain English, I hope everyone gets it. We got a minute to go, I think. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. AI got a slap when it touched 30 yesterday. Okay, couldn't hold it, could it? We'll have to see how this plays out. Could this be the new range for a while? We'll find out, Bobby. We're going to find out. I kind of like AI though overall. I think AI's future is much higher than $30 a share. Larry Titus, thank you, my friend. The bells have been rung by Larry Titus. You know what that means? That means you guys are getting richer. It's as simple as that. The options are open. Watch them fall. Congratulations, option writers. Love it. Senior Group is estimating that Social Security annual cost of living adjustment this year will be 3.2%. You tell me where you live in your town. Are your costs at 3.2% higher this year than last year? I bet you they aren't. I don't think any of you here have a 3.2% cost of living increase going in your hometown. I bet you're all going way higher than that. But that's what Social Security is going to do, and that means seniors in America and elsewhere that are tied to these kinds of increases are falling further behind, and that is not good. That is just, it's not good. In any event, that's what I see going on. Let's take a look at this market here. It looks to me like the Dow is up about 37 points. Let's take a look at the Market Watch scenario here, and we'll see what it says. Got the Dow up actually 87 points. Yep, I see it now. 85, 87, still climbing. 97. We're stocks are opening up here. As each first trade pops through, the index gets adjusted higher. 93 now is the gain on the Dow. 7.8 on S&P, 25 on NASDAQ. The Dow is up a quarter of a point, S&P up 0.18, the NASDAQ up 0.19. Oil up 4 cents a barrel. Okay. The higher oil goes, the worse for the economy. Not good for the U.S. economy. Yes, American companies do produce oil and gas. And yes, there are those who benefit from higher energy prices. But for the majority of Americans, they're losers when oil goes up, along with Canadians. Even though Canadians make a lot of money from royalties through their provincial and federal governments, average Canadians get whacked, and that's not good. We're up 103, though, on the Dow. So the Dow doesn't care that oil is at 88.93 a barrel. It is up 100-odd points. We'll just have to see how long this will last, and we'll just see how it goes. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. We've got GameStop up 21 cents to $17.44. We have, let me just double check a couple things here. There we go. We got SoFi now at $9.05, up a nickel. We've got Apple up 64 cents at the moment. There we go over there. There we go over there. There we are. Apple up 61 cents. Netflix up 253 at the moment in the early trading. AI up a nickel at 28.15. Nvidia down 38 cents. Tesla's up 448 now, 271.96, going for 272. Rocket Lab at 534, up 3 cents. Matterport down half a penny. Smart Rent down 1 penny. ATIP up 30 cents to 862. Unity down 62 cents. Google down 35. Moderna's up 788. Cisco up 11. Pfizer's up 43 to 34.58. IBM at with a 42-cent gain at 146.72. HPQ $29, up a dime. Microsoft up 165. ME is up a half a penny. Amazon down 31 cents. Spire unchanged. Home Depot up 70 cents. Vanek Vectors up 32. Adobe up 9.95. Goldman Sachs up 360. Boeing up 74 cents. Meta Platforms up 211. Target up 95. JP Morgan up 49. Costco down $1. Walmart up $1. Disney up 18 cents. American Airlines down 63 cents to 13.48. American Airlines down today about 5% in price with that warning, that profit warning that is deteriorating very quickly. DraftKings up 11 cents. AMC sitting at $7.56. That's 75 cents a share on the common stock. Not good. That's the story over there. All right, we're getting a little moderation here. We're up 72 to 80 on the Dow roughly now. S&P is up about 7. NASDAQ up 19. So it's not a super strong out of the gates opening. We'll see just how much oomph this market really has, or does it run out of gas fairly quickly? We'll find out what the second wave looks like after a while. All right. What else is going on here? Just looking at various headlines coming through here. Stock futures waiver after hotter than expected August inflation report. That's a story that came out a little while ago. And headline inflation rose to 3.7% last month, slightly higher than what the forecast of 3.6 was going to be. Consumer price index, which measures costs across a board of a variety of goods and services, rose 0.6% for the month. That's its biggest monthly jump in 14 months. All right. So-called core inflation rose by 0.3%, also higher than anticipated. So that's it. That's the story. A lot of debate going on whether this is really to worry about, if this is something to wonder about, or it's not such a big deal. Should we really, sell everything, buy everything? What do we do? People are asking. All righty, there you go. That is the latest on inflation at the moment. Okay, everybody. Thank you all for joining us today. Nice to have you here. Thank you for 102 thumbs ups today. I appreciate that. Always good to see the triple digits coming through here. Love to get to 200 today. If you can find that thumbs up button, nail it for me. It looks like we had about 170 folks here. So a few of you are still slackers out there. Come on and help me out. Thank you again for all of you joining us. Let's see. Amy J is here. Hector Salamanca and Uncle Bruce. The long calls on GameStop are now tradable to Jan 2026. I have Jan 2025. When should I roll? I would take a look at that. Keep an eye on the markets between the two, and when the 90-10 rule is in effect, and you can roll up to Jan 26s. Bingo! Take a look at that. Absolutely. Keep it open. Them be the bells. Thank you, Larry, from JR. Thank you, JR. We're up 71 on the Dow now. GameStop holding a 21-cent gain. SoFi up 7 at 907. Next stop, $10. Let's go, SoFi. Apple up just down 27 cents. We're up 325 on Netflix now. 2804 on AI, down 6. Tesla's up. Nvidia's up. Rocket Lab holding a 2-cent gain. Not much else really happening. There isn't a lot really moving here. Moderna holding a $6 gain. Microsoft up 278. Amazon up $1.23. Adobe up 1079. That's definitely a winner today. And that's where I see it at the moment over here on my device. Speaking of device, I'm holding an Apple 11 Pro. I've had this phone for 4 years. It's been a great machine. I've really been happy with it. Just kicks butt compared to what I used to have. The Apple, I think I used to have an Apple 8. Great machine. I now know the 15s are out. The Apple 15s are coming out later this month. I'm kind of thinking about upgrading my phone. I'm kind of thinking the upgrade might be coming because the new camera on the 15 is phenomenal. And I shoot all my videos when I travel with this phone. And the better, the better. Even low light and everything else. So I'm going to have to save some shekels and get myself a new phone. We'll worry about that when we get back to Canada. By the time we return, they'll be available to us. We'll see what kind of deals they're offering at that time. But yeah, I like the look of that new phone. Definitely like the look of that new phone. Constantine, I am thumbs up number 107. Bruce, good morning to you. Thank you, Constantine. Appreciate the number 107 thumbs ups. Now showing 109 here. I think it might be time to do the right thing and perhaps honor the Knights of Neat from Stockholm. Let them know that even though I am further away from them here in Sweden from the UK, that I honor the Knights of Knee. Larry Titus knows. Neat, neat, neat. Absolutely. Time to honor the Knights of Knee. Constantine knows. Neat, 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 neat. Absolutely time to honor the Knights of Knee. Here come those hearts and all those other symbols coming up there. Richard Carlin, neat, 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 neat. Absolutely. The Knights of Knee. Cindy B. Good morning, Cindy. How are you today? Neat, 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 neat. Knights of Knee must be honored and respected on this channel. Otherwise, you're just asking for trouble. We can't have that. We're up 53 points on the Dow. Flint Creek Soap Company. Neat, 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 neat. That's right. They're all there. Thank you to those of you who have sent me emails lately. A couple more of you filled me in that you are coming out to see Jen and I live on October 21 in Secaucus, New Jersey. Dude face, neat, neat, neat. Alex, neat, neat, neat. Anywhere from about noon to 5, I guess, something like that. We're going to have a meeting room in that hotel. Although, they haven't contacted me yet. I've left a message and they haven't got back to me. Terrible. You have to send them another message. Anyway, we'll get together at the Harmony Suites in Secaucus, New Jersey. If you want to know where the Harmony Suites is, check out Google Maps and just enter Harmony Suites, and then it'll take you right to it. It'll give you the overhead. Check out the satellite imagery if you want. You'll see all the expressways and stuff. There's a bus right from Grand Central. From the Port Authority in Manhattan. From the Port Authority in Manhattan right to our hotel, there's a bus that will take you there and back. So if you're flying into JFK or LaGuardia and you're thinking of spending a few days in New York and you want to catch Jen and I, all you need to do is get to the Port Authority, which is right near Broadway, where all the theaters are, and hop on the one bus to Secaucus. I don't know what it is. I bet you it's less than $25. I'm sure it's not that expensive. And you can get a ride right to Secaucus to the front door of the hotel itself. It's unbelievable because next to our hotel is a convention center, the Secaucus Convention Center. And so it's a popular route that's taken both directions. And a lot of folks from Manhattan come out there. They go to a convention, business meetings, and then they hop on the bus and right back down to the Port Authority, and then they're on their way to wherever they got to go from there. Piece of cake. So if you're in that area, you want to join us and say hi to Jen and I in person, October the 21st. It's a Saturday from about noon until 5 in the afternoon, something like that. If I have to adjust the times, I will, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. We'd love to have you come and join us. Say hi to us. You can see Auntie Jen in real life. Give her a hug. She's a hugger, She'll hit you if you're not behaving yourself, though. Be careful. She's a hitter, but she's a good hugger, too. And I'd love to have you come by. Fantastic, everybody. Thank you, Alex, Octavio, Hector, Brian, good morning from Calgary. How you doing, buddy? Option Nomads, Splair. The knee emojis are coming in just in case. I wish you all a successful week and relaxed day, of course. Thanks, Splair. Neat, 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 says Splair from Dortmund, Germany. All around the world, the knee emojis are coming in to honor the Knights of Knee on this channel. We do that every show. We don't skip a beat around here. We're not crazy, We know what we're doing. We're only up 34 points on the Dow. It's come back. Still positive, though. S&P is up 6. NASDAQ's up 33. So the markets are green, but they're not like taking off. Maybe they're all waiting for Ryan Cohen to buy a bunch of GameStop and run that market again. Maybe that's what everyone's waiting for. I don't know. Is that what's happening? I don't know. I just can't say. I can't say. Anyway, we're at $8.99, $9 on the SoFi, $17.36 on GameStop, up 13. Apple's down 71 cents. Netflix is up 31. AI down 23. Nvidia up 321. Tesla's up 550. It's a mixed bag. No question about it. It's a mixed bag going on here. Welcome to the party, everybody. JR is here. Welcome, JR. Neat, 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 neat. No stopping our friend from California. Looking forward to seeing JR. Hey, if you ever wondered what JR looks like, this is your chance to meet JR. He's going to be at the big roundup, the big get-together, the meet and the greet in Secaucus, New Jersey. And he's coming from California. What's your excuse? You live in Chicago. It's a quick flight away. Come on over. come on over and say hi. We don't do very many meet and greets, Jen and I, so this is your chance. Come on by and say hi and see the other viewers. Oh, that's what you look like in real life. Oh, sorry. Okay. Wow. some, some folks are threatening to bring pie. I tell you, I can't help these people. I'm not bringing any pie. It's enough that we're bringing our luggage all the way from Europe to get over there. We're not bringing any pie. But if any of you want to bring pie, you're certainly welcome to do so. Sure, there's a Costco in the area you can pop into. You can bring in some pie if you want. I wonder if some folks are coming to that event to get pie and then to take some pie home with them. I'm wondering if that's what's going on. I don't know. We'll see. Well, we'll have some fun with that. We're at 113 thumbs ups, you guys. Thank you so much for helping out. Strickland is in the halls looking to hit you with that little pink slip, so don't get caught without throwing a thumbs ups our way. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, Strickland will get you. Be careful. Thank you all for popping in and saying hello. Nice to see you here on the channel. Plain English with Uncle Bruce, live from Stockholm, Sweden. I have no photos from Stockholm, Sweden. We got in here late last night at like 10:30. We were bagged. We were tired. It was dark out. We checked into our hotel and we just closed the curtains. And in 20 minutes, we were in bed ready to go to sleep. And I didn't wake up until 8 in the morning. I was gone, man. I was poop. It was something. We got something going on here with the pies. Bring great pies, says Flint Creek. Hector, not pie. Flint Creek. Pie. Oh my gosh, here we go with the pies. I know it. I wonder if in October will Costco already have pumpkin pie by October 21st? They might already have pie by then. I don't know. Canada, they're usually earlier than in the US with pumpkin pie because Thanksgiving is earlier in Canada than in the US. So there's that. I think the Dow is rallying again. We're up 60 now. I think the Dow is turning around. We're up 7 on the S&P and 29 on NASDAQ. So it looks like we're positive again at this point. Okay. Down. We're only up 7 cents on oil, though. It's not going anywhere. 88.91 a barrel. It's kind of flat right now in Texas. Okay. There's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. Thank you all for popping in, and see how this goes. Rocket Lab up just 5 cents. To me, that's surprising to see it so cheap. But the street got spooked by the fact the president's going to sell 3.6 million shares. He may have already done it. He may have already sold them. Makes no difference. I don't know. SoFi now down 8. GameStop up 16. Matterport down 7. 23andMe down 1. Spire up 6. ATIP up 10. SmartRent down 1.5 cents. That's the deal right there. Okay, kids, there it is. All righty. Have any of you folks run into this yourselves? This story. These stories are coming out in the media. Talk about rental increases. Have any of you run into this story about friends of yours, work friends, relatives, anyone, where they've received a rental notice increase of a substantial amount of money? We're hearing and reading all kinds of stories about rent going really high. I noticed an article coming out of Canada yesterday with coast to coast in Canada. Rents are surging in the country. There's a housing shortage in Canada because Canada has been so welcoming of immigrants into the country. There's a shortage of housing, and all of a sudden, these landlords are finding they can raise their rents. Now, some landlords are raising rents because their property taxes have gone crazy. Some of them are raising the rents because their mortgages got renewed from 2.5% to 7%. They got to raise the rent. There's that. Inflation has a nasty way of getting into everything, and this is one of those. Water has gone up so much, says Cindy B. Price of water. Have your electrical bills gone crazy out there? Have any of you noticed that? Garbage collection, water collection, property taxes. Yeah, kind of. There's all kinds of stories out there. There are some stories. Something about a one-bedroom apartment was listed in one city in Canada, and the average rent was like 2,100 a month, and there was an apartment listed for 1,850, and they had a kind of an open house to see the apartment on like a Saturday morning, and one person was interviewed by a reporter, and the person said, "Yeah, I went to check it out to see if I could get an apartment for 1,850 a month instead of 2,200. I got there, there were 10 cars already in front of the place. There were people lined up outside the door to see this place." He said, "I didn't even bother going in. It was obviously rented." Gone. I couldn't believe it. Heckner is saying that British Columbia, the rents are allowed to rise over 3.5% in 2024. The provincial government has put a kind of a cap on rental increases, 3.5%. The Big E is here. How you doing? Neat, 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 neat. Thank you, thank you. Honoring the Knights of Neat. Yeah, I've heard stories of $200 rent increases, $500 rent increases, substantial hikes, where people are literally, being they have to leave. They cannot make the payment, and now they're trying to scramble for something else. And there are some stories in certainly in Canada that I've read where people have were renting a house, mom and dad, two kids. The rent was going up 1,000 a month from what they were paying for years and years. They ended up buying a used trailer, a camping trailer, and found a friend of theirs, just out of town with some property. They could park there and hook into power and water, and they're living in a trailer. They can't afford a house. They can't afford to buy one. They haven't got a down payment. They can't afford to rent one for a family of four. And so they're in a trailer. The problem, of course, is after the summer's over, it's winter. In Canada, you need a winterized trailer to survive a winter. And it isn't fun, even if it is winter. I don't know. There's more and more of these stories showing up all over the place. Of course, in the U.S., we've seen these stories for years now in places like San Jose, in San Francisco, Los Angeles, more and more, Seattle just coming to mind, Portland too, more and more people who are in RVs and trailers, that literally RVs that don't run. They are literally parked on the side of a road in a city, and they can't move them because their engines and transmissions are not working. The only way to move an RV is to have it towed somewhere else. There are some folks living in a trailer where they've unhitched the trailer from whatever got it there, and the trailer's wheels are now rusted out. The unit cannot be moved, and they're living on the side of the road in a basically what would normally be a condemned dwelling by city inspectors if it were a secured house. Just all kinds of stories like this. Just terrible. And these are people that are employed. They have jobs. It's amazing what's going on up there. I tell you. I wonder. Unbelievable. Jen and I feel blessed. I'll tell you that. Folks, make a lot of money writing options. That's the name of the game here. Make a ton of money. Do any of you have condors expiring this Friday or next Friday? How are you doing on your condors? Are your SPYs and triple Qs behaving themselves, keeping well within a range? Are you noticing the shrinkage factor working in your favor? Do let me know. JJ Owens Corning is continuing its slide lower. I can't find any news updates. Uncle B. Interesting on that, isn't it? Could just be the thinking of the markets. The economy. More and more companies, I think, are going to announce lower expected earnings. Now, Owens Corning trades at 9.8 times earnings. This is not an expensive stock. but it is down today. Yield is only 1.49% though. There's no dividend yield to get excited about there. You can get much better return on your money owning some other stock or treasuries or GICs. Owens Corning doesn't pay enough of a dividend to keep their investors. That's maybe what's happening there. Just guessing. Interesting. SoFi now down to 884. That burns my butt, but it is 884. I'd really like to see it at 984 and going to $10. But the low of the day, 883 on SoFi today. That's what's going on over there. All right, there's the latest. We've got GameStop right now holding a gain of 22 cents. Apple down 118, Netflix down 389, AI down 41, but GameStop up 23 cents at 1746. Maybe there's some folks thinking, hey, that old guy without any hair on his head talks about all these things about GameStop. Maybe he's right. Maybe there is something going on with GameStop. Maybe because two directors have already bought stock in GameStop at these prices. Maybe I should be buying some too. And maybe that's why there's 367,000 volume already on GameStop. I don't know. We're up 23 cents. Maybe. Cindy, because Tesla took a run, I had to roll out my iron condors to October 13, which I feel is so far out with a condor. I got a 255.60 and a 290.95. Also, not much of a spread. That's what I've got right now on my Tesla. Well, Tesla is 271.67. So you are in the middle zone here. And if this stock is going to sit in this 265.75 range, you're looking great. Right now, just let the days go by. This is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The weekends come Monday, Tuesday. You may find that these contracts are shrinking out. And what you might find, Cindy, is if the shares don't want to go much above 280 or even reach 280, you may find that you're going to take those calls and bring them in a bit. You might bring them into that 285.90 or 280.85 range if the shares come down a bit, bringing in a bit of a premium that way. You might do that. But at the moment, yeah. Let's see what gives. Good, smart move though. Do a rollover if the market has a day like Tesla had a 10% gain in one day. You gotta respect that. You gotta move up your calls and now wait up here to take the time, grab the time. It's yours, and now let the time shrink out and let's just see what gives. Yeah, absolutely. Good move. That's a good move. I like that. Interesting how some of these move, but the rest of the market has not joined the party, has it? Tesla's sort of an outlier with this big move. Look at that NVIDIA, 452 right now. Just what was it? Just a few weeks ago, it was at 500. Wasn't it 510 in the one pre-market trade? Having gone from that 430, 40 range up to 500, and now here we are, 452. Unbelievable how NVIDIA has really given up some of that momentum, and yet they delivered a $3 billion upward surprise on sales, upped their buyback by a ton, announced a higher number for the next quarter. Again, they've upped their numbers. The market just is not, just not going into it. More sellers and buyers. Way more speculators, as you can tell. There were speculators all over this stock. What do you do? Do you create an iron condor on NVIDIA with a $400 low and a $500 high for 2 or 3 weeks out? Can you actually create a condor on NVIDIA for not a lot of money? Might be worth investigating. Is there a spread to be had? I don't know. Option nomads. We've got an iron condor expiring on September 22nd. That's my birthday. We wrote it last week and brought in $700. I can close it today and make a $500 profit. Boy, I would be tempted to take that deal. I would be tempted to take that and then just create a September 29 contract or a condor further out. That is nice money. That is, out of 700 to get 500. Do you want to wait 9 days to make the 200 already? Take the next 9 days. Go out to September 29 or October, whatever. Create a new position with hopefully $700 credit. Let the next 9 days make you another $500. You're not going to make another 500 on this. Just a thought, something for you to think about, investigate. Well done. Well done. Boy, I love these stories. I tell you, some of you folks have really taken to the Condor thing. You figured it out. You respect the movement of the position. You respect the movement of the markets, the indexes, the stocks. But you grab these spreads, you take the premiums, you take the credits, and say, all right, okay, clock, run down and give me the shrinkage. And I'll tell you, you're getting it again and again and again. And I know what's going to happen here. There is going to come a day where a number of you are going to be letting me know, Bruce, I do 100 condors at a time. I do 100. I do 150 of them. I do 200 at a time because I take these wide positions with very little risk. I like the game. I do. Uncle Bruce, Constantine, now with GameStop opening the 2026 option chain up, should we look into rolling our leaps? You can start to look, of course. This is still, thankfully, September 2023, and you now have, obviously, you're sitting on 2025 Januaries, and now 2026s are beginning to pop up. You have a lot of time to always keep your eye on those contracts. And when you see the moment that a call can be sold and a call can be acquired, that's deep in the 90-10 rule to your advantage, and you can get a year out of it, you're going to do it. Yeah, absolutely. Is there a hurry? No. Is there a rush? No. Have you got 6 months to a year to do it? Yeah, you got a lot of time to do it. But yeah, I'd be keeping an eye on those. Absolutely. It's not a panic trade though. Right on. Good question. You're the second one today to ask me that, and I'm glad to see that come in. It's exactly what you want to be doing. Way to go, poor man covered call option writers. Well done, each and every one of you. Well done. 1750 on GameStop, up 27 cents on a volume of 438,000. It's not heavy trading, is it? It's not heavy, but there's some buying coming in today. There's some buying coming in on GameStop, but it's not heavy, but it's active, a little bit more active than late 1750. Watch that GameStop. Cash secured puts, yeah, might be an idea for GameStop. This might be the launch pad for cash secured puts. All depends on how you feel. 886 now on SoFi. We bottomed out at looks like 883. We're only up 3 cents from the low. Now 887, make it 4. But SoFi so far, not much of a bounce off the lows, but a little bit. Volume 2.8 million, 3 million, is that it? 3.3 million SoFi, very quiet. But it's bounced off the bottom a bit. 72-cent dip on Apple. Netflix, $3.96. The Apple announcement came out yesterday. The reaction, as you can see today, not overwhelming. But we'll find out in about a month from now and then 2 months from now just what kind of pre-orders Apple's been getting and whether or not they have instructed their manufacturers to produce more phones. If that i15 catches on, that could be something. We'll be watching. I like what I hear about the i15. Everything I've heard, I like, especially the i15 Pro Max. I'm hearing really good stuff about it. Kind of what I was hoping I would hear about it. There's always more that could have come out, but Dude face. I've got a Netflix Iron Condor I wrote on August 17. Uh, August 17. What's going on here? Okay, 350.55 to 460.65 premium of 116. Next, I rolled on a 9/1 September on the put side. Okay, I rolled the put side 400 to 415. Call side, I sold the long to 475. I brought in another $443. Now, there you go. There's what we're talking about. We're talking about how you create your condor and then you begin to roll the condor and keep bringing in the credits. Keep bringing in the credits. Yes, always be doing what dude is doing right here. You go with this market. The market flows. These 350 puts are worthless. Moving in now to the 400 puts because the stock is $430. Of course, yeah. And the 475s on the call side from 460.65. Smart move. I like it. And taking time, going out in time for more money. Yes. Keep the credits coming in. I like this. Cindy B. We are pre-ordering this week. We're pre-ordering this week. Oh, your phone. Got it. Okay. Dude, whoops. It's expired September 29th. No problem. It doesn't matter. Time is your friend. You can gobble as much as you need. Charlie, Uncle Bruce, my son and daughter-in-law got a $300 a month rent increase on their house. This is what I'm talking about. I was curious if any of you are hearing about this. This is not a one city phenomenon. This is all over the place. Yeah, $300 a month. That's after-tax money that's required. You know, you got to make like 400 gross to clear that, at least. So yeah, that's serious. No question. Well, being a good condor writer can solve these kinds of problems rather easily, I might say. Well done there, dude. Bringing in an additional $443 credit right there. You think about that down the road a little bit. I know there will be some of you doing 20 to 50 to 100 of these at a time. And if you're doing 20 iron condors and you can bring in a $443 credit on a condor times 20 condors, it's an $8,800 increase in cash by giving up some time. Time is free to give away on your end. No problem at all. And it allows you to shift your contracts where you want them. This is putting you in a control position. These gamblers that are in there, into those calls and puts, are nervous ninnies. They are panicking because unless the stock delivers the goods, a big move up or a big move down, these folks will get wiped out and you will be the beneficiary of thousands of dollars. And it isn't that you make $8,000 from one player. You could be making that $8,800 from 5 different investors. It doesn't matter. Whether you write 100 of them and take 25 option players to the cleaners, it doesn't matter. It's just a trade. And we don't know each other. It's just a trade. I love this. Very good, folks. Well done. We're up 17 on the Dow. Not a lot to get excited about here. We're negative now. Let me triple check that. Hang on. Yeah, we are negative elsewhere. We're up 17, 16 on the Dow. We're down 2.3 on S&P and down 16 on NASDAQ. We're not going anywhere in a hurry. Condor writers, Condor creators, you folks are smiling there going, Bruce, I have adopted your method here. I have created condors and I'm crossing my arms and I'm watching the carnage continue happening right in front of my eyes. Just like you said this morning, there are millions and millions of players playing options. By the day, the week, the month, they're getting slaughtered. And guess what? Where does some of that money go? To you and all the institutions that are doing what you're doing. You've just joined the bigger players. You're doing what the big boys and girls are doing in your own way. I can't be more proud, more excited about the kind of revenues you guys are about to experience here going through these contracts. It's just fabulous. The more players that come into this market, the higher the premiums get, by the way. The higher the premiums, the higher the credits. Oh yes, thank you very much. Keep it coming, folks. Just bring it on. Yeah, you gotta love that. SoFi, unfortunately, we're back to the lows of the day. 882, 883 now. Looks like we're at the low end here. 881 for a moment. We're now 884. GameStop 1747, holding that 24-cent gain pretty well. The Dow up just 11 though. The rest of the market is not helping. The rest of the market, S&P and Nasdaq are negative. We're down on the S&P. We're down 1.5 points, 1.5 points, and Nasdaq down about 14.8. Oil down 2 cents. It's a quiet session. This inflation report did nothing to run the market or crap the market, but it's like folks are just going, what should I do? What, should I go long, short? Is this as bad as it's going to get? Is it just going to be 3.5%, 4% inflation, and then it'll go back to 2%? Or should I really worry about it? Bruce, what do I do? And so folks are really trying to figure it out. And so far, not much going on at this point in time. Spider down 4 cents. Triple Q's up a nickel. Oh, our Iron Condor players happy right now. Iron Condor players are going, this is great. We haven't got to change. We're flat on all these contracts. Oh, this is great. Yes, indeed. You gotta love that. Netflix down 450. AI down 73 cents to 27.37. I gotta think this 25.30 range is the low end, and 35.40 is the high end for now. Got to think, but I don't know. One announcement from AI could change just everything, and that could be a major sale explosion of a new version of their AI software. And look out! I don't know. I can't imagine corporate America not upgrading on AI. They have to do it, otherwise you're going to get slaughtered by your competition. That is, you're going to have much higher labor costs than your competitor. So you can't be caught doing that. But AI, that's 27, 41, 42. NVIDIA is up 23 cents. It was higher than that today. It's given up the gains. Tesla's only up 199. It was up about $5-6. Rocket Lab up 1 penny today, 532. So not much happening, as I said earlier. There's just not much going on. Only up 16 points on the Dow, if that, maybe. We're kind of flat right now. 885 on SoFi. Here we are. Yep, Dow's up 13 points. Okay. There you have it, kids. How many thumbs ups we got? 128. Thank you all very, very much. Appreciate these thumbs ups. If you're able to hit that thumbs up button, please do so. We would appreciate it. Every thumbs up brings new viewers to this channel that have not been here before. It is really telling how many of my viewers, when I see them in person, we talk about what we're doing here and how we're doing what we're doing. They tell me how they try to tell their friends to join in, and their friends don't believe them. They kind of go, it sounds too good to be true. I can't get my head around selling something and buying it back for less money. I can't get my head around that. Isn't it amazing how many people can't get their head around that? Maybe it's a good thing for the rest of you out there that so few people can actually do this. Puts you in the minority. Your competition is much less, I would imagine. JR, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. I don't know. It's amazing. Dow's negative now. 5 points, 6 points negative on the Dow, 3 on S&P, 18 on NASDAQ. So we have a negative market here. 5 cents lower on oil. Nothing serious there. There you go. There's a headline just coming out here. Leaked inflation forecast turns the ECB, that's the European Central Bank, expectations towards a hike in rates. There's no doubt in my mind that rates must go higher in Europe. There cannot be a flat month. They have to raise rates here. They're behind America by 2 percentage points. They got to raise rates. There's a bigger inflation problem here than in the U.S. But, there's politics and there's other things to worry about, I guess. GameStop holding 24-cent gain, and SoFi 884, 3 pennies off the low of the day. All right. JR, it's a good thing others don't catch on. If they did, there would be too many casinos and not enough gamblers. So There you are, JR. We're one of the only channels out there that exists with this story. What can I say? Make sure to, if you're going to do this for a living, you want to become a bona fide, full time asset manager of your assets, option writer, and so on. Make sure to be as educated as you can, and head over here to the Stock Markets with Bruce website. Check the classes out. Do those classes, folks. It makes it a lot easier for me to explain to you what to do and how to do what to do. It gives you such a heads up over everybody else. Your investment's $150 a class. That's it. That's all it is. $150. We are talking about people here who are sitting on positions where they're making thousands of dollars every week, every month, doing these options. The cost of getting into this is so cheap if you really think about it. Of course, you can go to other channels and you go to other places out there. I am sure you can find options courses that will run you $5,000, $8,000, $12,000, $15,000. I'm sure there are absolutely entrepreneurs out there who are trying to sell courses on how to be day traders or stock traders for 8, 10, 12, 15 grand. They're out there, been there for years. Just think of how few classes they have to sell to make a nice living. You can sell a course for 15 grand, sell 20 a year, $300,000 coming in for something you made 10 years ago. Is it going to make you any money? I don't know. I don't think so. If you want to make money today in today's market, you want to take classes that were done just lately, and that's what these are, 16 of them, and we're still adding to them. Get with the market and be with today's traders. Learn how options work and how they can work for you, and how they do not work for the gamblers out there, which there are now millions and millions and millions of these gamblers are out there throwing money around like you cannot believe. It is scary how risky some folks are out there with their dough. That's all I can say. It's all I can tell you. It's not much more I can do about that. 128 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody. I think I'm going to say my goodbyes from Stockholm today. I want to say thank you all for joining in again today. It was great to have you here. Appreciate you joining me today for the pre-alert show. And this one, it's great that you're on top of these markets, generating some nice returns. Keep up the great work, everybody. We'll keep on top of the stories that you need to be aware of so that you're up on what's going on here. There's a lot happening behind the scenes. Well done to each and every one of you who are scoring on these contracts. I couldn't be more thrilled. No question about it. Right now, we are down on the markets at the moment. It looks like we're off about 39 on the Dow. We're underwater a little bit here on the S&P, about 7.5. NASDAQ down about 37. Oil is holding a 10-cent gain. That's the story as I see it. Thank you all. Option Nomads, thank you so much. JR, come on, Tesla, buy Wave. Constantine, have a great day, everybody. Thank you, Uncle B. Thank you guys for joining us from Europe. We appreciate you following us. Say hi to everybody on the Discord channel out there. Those of you on Discord, I will see you hopefully tomorrow for another go around from Stockholm. We'll keep this drive alive and see what this market brings you. 887 on SoFi. It looks like it's coming back up. Go SoFi, go. Have a wonderful rest of the day, all. And we'll talk to you next time. This is Bruce and Auntie Jen saying so long from Stockholm, Sweden. Until next time. Bye for now.